Am I positive enough? Am I happy enough? Because I don't want to be misconstrued, you know? Sarcasm in case people aren't getting it, because online they're not. So I just want to make it clear, abundantly clear from the start of the video. Bit of sarcasm's coming your way. Manchester City 3, Chelsea 1. Doesn't matter though if we win or lose or draw, because we're not even expected to make top 4. I didn't know if you caught this. Let me give you the update. We don't need to make top 4, guys. So we're ahead of expectations. We're ahead of schedule. That's the interview that came out. That's the bandwagon, the narrative that everybody's running with. Last month, people tried to convince me we were in a title race. You have to change your expectations, Matisse, because you're there. But now, don't need to make top 4. We made top 6 last year. We finished top 6, finished 6th. Progression. We don't need to make top 4. So it doesn't matter. As long as we play good football and the system, you know, we don't need to make top 4. So I know that there's no sponsor on the shirt and there's no, you know, we're not really waiting for the Jordan kit. No, we just don't need to make top 4. I know Cole Palmer is having chit chats with Pep, and there's a couple top players at our club that probably would like to play Champions League. We don't need to make top 4. We're not expected to contend until 2028 to 2030. So you don't need to be angry or upset or emotional about this result, reactionary, because we don't need to make top 4, guys. Doesn't matter. We didn't just put 250 million into the squad over the summer, signing quite a few 25, 24-year-olds with Premier League experience. We don't need to make top 4, okay? We didn't spend over $1 billion, have 2 XLs that we were gloating and, you know, chanting and celebrating about Conference League. Look at these 2 11s. Clear Lake, oh my God, you've blessed us. The second team finishes in the top 7, top 6. We did all of that. We don't need to make top 4. Especially when our competitors for top 4 are Nottingham Forest with Chris Wood and Hudson-Odoi, who we sold for 3 million, but now we're interested in Garnacho for 59. Especially when our top 4 contenders are Bournemouth. Especially when our top 4 contenders are Newcastle and Aston Villa, who've had their own PSR problems, had to sell Anderson and Minter. It's not Man United or Tottenham. No. We don't need to make top 4. No. We don't need to make top 4. It doesn't matter, because we're in a process. We're in a project. We're in a project and a process where the players that we signed 6 months ago don't fit the system for the current manager that they hired 6 months ago. We don't need to make top 4, guys. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So we don't need to make top 4. So if you are coming here for anger and intensity and violence, and you don't need to worry about any of that. I'm not going to give you that energy today. Positive, right? We're going to be positive because we don't need to make top 4. Don't worry about the consequences financially when you're asking for 100 million forwards and strikers, because we're going to spend 60 million of that on a left winger. A left winger that really, if you put him into that game today, what the hell would he have done? What would he have done to improve the deficiencies and the faults and the weaknesses of our side when we're lacking an extra midfielder? Again, depleted, dropping off. When we're lacking a clinical striker, or at least competition, an option to take Jackson off and not bring on Nkunku, who came on today and again didn't offer anything in the striker position. No, forget the priorities, forget the spine, forget the goalkeeper that's getting backed in the press conference, who keep making an error per game, expected error per game, coming out for no reason, like his joystick on his controller is absolutely fucked in no man's land for a lob. Going 2-1 down against a Man City team that weren't even that great. Don't need it. No, don't worry about all that. Get distracted by 20-year-old Garnacho, who's not ready to start in this team, really, and being consistent in his final third actions. That's what we need. If there's something that we're lacking in our attack, it's inconsistency in final third actions, isn't it? Yeah, that's what we need. So, yeah, don't worry about it. We don't need top 4. So, you know, let's just spend 2 billion. Let's just spend 2 billion. Let's just spend 2 billion. Let's wait for Palmer to get pissed off, who was poor today, by the way. Wasn't good. We're going to get into the game. But just remember, when I'm analysing the game, I just want you to understand I'm speaking about it in isolation, because we don't need top 4. That's what a lot of Chelsea fans were telling me online today when I was reacting to the interview that went out on Sky Sports about Maresca, saying that the club doesn't expect him to get top 4 this season. They expect him to get top 4 next season. Yeah, next season. And the season after that, then we can challenge. Yeah. So when I've said that's ridiculous, everybody's come and told me, oh, you're impatient. Oh, you're reactionary. Oh, you're one of those big accounts, one of those channels that you're just making up too much noise. Oh, it's almost as if I went along with this bullshit and didn't hold the 4 transfer windows directors, judge us after 4 windows, this is the 5th. It's almost if I didn't actually call out this rubbish and actually say, where's the money gone? Why do we still need a spine? Why do none of our wingers play well? It's almost as if I call this out, if I didn't call it out, it's almost like I'd make more money. It's almost like I'd be on the photo shoot for EAFC with Chelsea next to Cole Palmer smiling. It's almost like I'd make more money. But no, kill me for being honest. Kill me for saying at the start of the season, we need to make top 4. Kill me for saying that when we're in a title race, we're not. We need to make top 4. Kill me for now saying we still need to make top 4 because it's a big squad with supposed quality that needs to be competing for top 4 ahead of Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth and Newcastle and Villa. Even if you take City out the equation, there's still a spot left. But kill me, because I'm the one that's being over the top. I'm the one that's being negative. So no problem. The game today, we were given a gift from the gods, right? Krasnov, or whatever his name is, the new signing from Manchester City at centre-back, absolutely shit it. Shit the bed, right? Wet the bed, right? Piss the bed, right? The guy has made a mistake. He's tried to header it back to his keeper. He's failed. Bombastically failed, right? And Jackson's got in ahead of him, stole it, lined it up for Madueke, it's 1-0. And we know when Chelsea take the lead in any game, they need to capitalise on the play, the good play, or at least on the mistakes and the nerves or whatever of the opposition players. There's a young centre-back there. Kill them. Kill them while we're on top, because you need to get that second goal. Cole Palmer in behind, doesn't square it with the right weight of pass. Jackson can't get on the end of that pass. We don't go 2-0 up. That's the moment where this game changes. That's the moment where this game twists and turns. Because although Manchester City are in a little bit of poor form, very poor form, although they were capitulating against Manchester City, conceding goals, they are still Manchester City. And they still have good players, good technicians. So regardless, that's why I said in the preview, the midfield that lasts the longest will win. Unfortunately, our midfield was missing. We couldn't keep the ball. We couldn't control the game. Man City, Kovacic. Kovacic. Kovacic could keep the ball. Kovacic could dictate and control the game. So as the game goes on, we just get weaker and weaker and weaker. We never really got ourselves back into it after that first 15, 20-minute spell. And that's ridiculous because Man City weren't at their brilliant best today. Man City somehow attacked with 2 fullbacks in Vardiel and Matheus Nunes to get the first goal. They've made deep runs because we're playing a really ridiculous, audacious high line in the first half. The ball just needs one clip over the top. We saw it against Aston Villa at home for ourselves, against Brighton at home for ourselves. One little clip over the top, bang, you're in. Bang, you're in. Bang, you're in. For some reason, today we've decided to play that same high line at the Etihad. Bang, you're in. Bob's your uncle. So they just keep playing that pass over the top. Reece James on that right-hand side, just keep going, keep puncturing, and you'll make it. You'll make it at some point. You'll get that goal. You'll get that opportunity. Obviously, their new signing, their attacker, fantastic. Really good runs from deep. Really good play from him. Looked like the best attacker on the pitch. The most, threatening. Scored his goal, but was offside. Mamouche. And at halftime, it's 1-1. And Chelsea have had their spell, but the energy levels that we keep talking about are dipping. For their side, it's because their midfield is aging, because it's old, because it's lagging. For our side, it's because maybe we've overplayed Enzo and Caicedo, because we haven't recalled Leslie Okachuku or Andre Santos, because we prioritize our multi-club model over our own club, because we prioritize Southampton's safety over our own club. Our manager comes out and says we don't need to bring in a midfielder. We don't need to recall anybody. Okay. I know a lot of people are going to want me to criticize Maresca heavily. They're going to want me to say, yo, he's not good enough. He's a championship manager. But who hired him? When he's speaking, it's the words of who? The directors. Why does Carney Chukwuemeka not get an opportunity? 100k a week. Politics. Why does Sanchez have to be first choice? Paul Winstanley, Brighton, politics. Why does every player that comes in Abadia Shaw and Disasi, but it's not available for sale, even though we've brought back Chalobah and we started Acheampong above them, Monaco, Lawrence Stewart, politics. Why do we have Felix, but we don't want to use him, but we still really rate him, don't we, Maresca, but we don't want to use him? Oh, PSR, politics. Dewsbury Hall, we trust him, we like him, don't leave, stay in January, but can we bring him on in a double pivot when we need energy and legs? No, politics. You know, so it's fine. It's fine. So second half, Robert Sanchez, welcome to the party, because you are expected to make an error per game. So what does he come and do? Leave his line. We're not playing well in the second half. Neither are Manchester City. It's a very nasty start to the second half. There's no real quality or control. But we are due a brain fart. So what does Robert Sanchez do? He comes out of his goal for no reason, unprovoked, and allows this massive gap in between him and the goal for Hairline to lob it over. Hairline, who, by the way, has been poor. Jackson was not good today. Madueke was probably more threatening than Sancho, but not great attackers. Palmer, poor, ghosted, uninvolved, not important, not key, not critical, not top level, not good enough. I have no problem in saying it. But was Hairline any better? No. But we've got him smirking and smiling, running off into the corner, celebrating a goal that he didn't even deserve. He wasn't good. It was only Mamouche that was causing problems in that final third. Even Foden at least hit the post, even though he wasn't at his brilliant best either. It's not one of those games where you can walk away and say, oh, Man City were just brilliant. Man City were really, really good. So, yeah, it can happen. They weren't good. But we somehow managed to be worse. And then, of course, the third goal goes in, and Colwell and Chalobah, awful. B-sided centre-backs with no A-side, that's what can happen. Colwell, weak in the duel. Chalobah, ball-watching, allowed Foden to just wander off into the wilderness. But the problem is, the people on the bench can't do any better because they're all B-sided centre-backs. Nobody's actually the A-side. And then Foden runs away and put one-on-one, scores the goal. Chelsea are 3-1 down. Chelsea have lost this game 3-1. They've had no real threat on goal in that second half, apart from a Jackson weak attempt on his weaker foot and Cucurella. But of course, it doesn't matter because there's no backup striker. There's no competitive striker option. What we should really be targeting in the January to sign a striker, instead of Garnacho, get a striker. So Jackson, who's in really poor form right now, can maybe get a break, put him on the bench, No, we don't need to do that. No. We didn't sign Giroud in a January window. We don't need to bring in a striker. Let's just keep bringing on Nkunku for Jackson. Nkunku, who isn't a striker, who we've already said publicly from the manager isn't a striker, offers nothing once again. But it's no problem. It's part of a project. Forget the fact that we're replacing players that we signed for the project by players that we're signing for the project. Forget the fact that we are bringing in young defenders that are key parts of the project on loan back from Boca Juniors, but then are bringing in players from Strasbourg that are also key parts of the project from Strasbourg. Yeah. Everybody's a key part of the project. Everybody's a key part of the project. Until they're not. Until they're not. You know? So, hey, I'm going to be positive. I've been too negative. I've really not... I'm no expert at all. I've got things wrong. So who am I to speak? You know, really. They haven't got anything wrong. No. They haven't got anything wrong. They haven't washed away, drowned hundreds of millions and flushed it down the toilet. No. Let's just talk about the wins. Let's just talk about Cole Palmer for 40 million. That's why you should trust every single signing that comes in, because we've got Cole Palmer for 40 million. But what about all of the other players, the wingers, the defenders? Pish posh. Doesn't matter. So let's sign Garnacho for 59 million. Let's sign him. Fuck it. Let's go and buy Garnacho for 59 million. Get Nkunku, go to Man United, where he probably playing in a system that actually suits him as an inside 10 behind a striker. Let's go and do that. And let's just vibes. I mean, if we make top 4, great. If we don't, doesn't matter, because we're ahead of schedule. So there's nothing to complain about. There's nothing to worry about. Just win the Conference League, and wherever we finish, we finish. We've played better football, right? We've got more points than last season anyway. Don't need to make top 4. I'm sure there'll be no financial repercussions on the club. I'm sure the sponsorships will be just fine. And I'm sure we'll be able to bring in all of the big names in the spine that everybody wants without top 4. And I'm sure Cole Palmer, who's having a little whisper to Pep, He doesn't mind about whether we win or make Champions League. He'll be A-okay for the 10 years. No problem. So we're good. So we move. There's nothing really else to say. We're all good. No issues over here. And we move. So yeah, I mean, you let me know in the comments if you have any problems, if you have any issues with the squad building, or if you have any issues with the manager who was hired by the directors. It's up to you. Whatever you want to say, it's a free for all. Just remember, I'm not being negative. I've decided now that, I need to see the positives. I need to see the brighter side of life. And as far as I'm concerned, everything's going to be A-okay. We'll be fine. We don't need to make top 4. We were second just over a month ago, but we don't need to make top 4. So, all right, well, let's wrap that up. That's it. All right, smash up the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time in a bit, people. Peace. Yes. Lovely.